question that crosses Jeff Boyle's mind too. As word spread and demand grows for his products, he faces the curse of all successful small businesses: growing pains. His pilot production plant here is now stretched to capacity. He needs to expand, but most of his startup capital has been sunk into proving the lanolin products perform and that they're safe.
As far as R&D, I've spent a lot of money on R&D, and to get government assistance is very hard. So I've had to fork all that out myself.
We first started using the product obviously in lift chains and our container lifting equipment, and with great success. We found it, the wear component dropped, and obviously the lubricant kicked in, and it helped us greatly. So,
have you been able to sort of quantify what sorts of savings and what sort of improved performance?
Well, basically we've been able to extend our chain maintenance from a weekly lubrication to a monthly lubrication, and you know, we've been doing that now for the past 12 months with great success. As you can see, with the so many moving parts in these chains, you really need a lubricant that will penetrate in and provide the links and the pins as much lubrication as possible, because we're looking at thousands of dollars worth of chains. So any cost savings due to that is a big bonus to the company.
There is no more corrosive environment than a fertiliser plant, especially with our location straight beside the Brisbane River on one side, and on the other side we have a creek off the river, Doughboy Creek. So we're pretty well surrounded by water, seawater, and close to the mouth of the river also.
He was impressed with the preliminary results of a trial where 1 coat of lanolin replaced a 3-coat treatment that normally took 10 days to complete.
As you can appreciate, every hour and minute of the day is crucial to Incitec. So yeah, if we can look at reducing our turnaround time on the jobs, again, that's certainly an advantage to Incitec.
But more importantly, what appealed to the company was that the product is safer to handle than many of the alternatives.
The fitters and tradesmen working in the conditions all day, they've found it well to use. You know, you can apply it in the morning, it's still there in the afternoon, and at the end of the day, I'd rather see a squirt of lanolin going in their toolbox than in the past all the nasties going up into the air and into their lungs and basically all over our floor and eventually into the drains. So my technicians are telling me that they haven't found a better product, they haven't used a better product.
In central Queensland, the heavy-duty liquid lanolin is being used by contractors working on raising the height of the Awonga Dam by 10 metres. The $106 million project will triple the dam capacity from 250,000 to 800,000 megalitres to meet the current and projected water needs of the city of Gladstone and its expanding industrial base.
We're working in a dam, and we're very conscious of making sure what we leave behind, it's in the same condition that we arrived. We look for products that leave a positive impact, and this product certainly helps us achieve that goal. We're currently using it on our formwork. It is used to seal the formwork and to help us with our stripping of the concrete works.
It's a lot better on the ply. It seems to make it last a hell of a lot longer because that is 9 pours old, that ply, and like I said, you know, it's nearly as good as when we first started. So for us, you get more uses out of the ply, yeah. and it doesn't get waterlogged because we're using a high volume of water to green cut.
Yes.
And then the concrete gets cured for 7 days with water on it. This is constantly covered in water, and like I said, it doesn't swell. So we put it on the back of the shutter as well to stop the timbers swelling as well.
Yeah.
And it seems to work out just fine. So in that respect, it's the best stuff we've used so far.
Downstream at Gladstone's Botanic Gardens, they're pretty careful about what ends up in their waterways too. Over the past 13 years, it's become a popular recreation reserve and a refuge for the area's wildlife.
The gardens were well planned, and I think that's probably the big success with them. There's clear wheelchair access right through the gardens, which make it very accessible to everyone.
You've got a lot of timber work here, observation towers, kiosks, and of course all this decking and bridges and so forth. What was the challenge as to how would you preserve that?
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of substantial timber. Some of ththese timbers you can see here are 12x3 spotted gum that you just simply wouldn't see anymore. Even if you could afford it, it's not really available, that sort of timber. So it's to the stage there now where the timber's about 12 to 13 years old, and it's fairly crucial that we start preserving it. And obviously in an environment like this, anything that's even slightly toxic to the waterways or the plants could be quite a problem. So we were quite impressed with the lanolin when it came along to see it used. Certainly we've got a lot of timber work scattered throughout the city, a lot of timber boardwalks and a lot of construction going on. So if it proves successful, we'd certainly like to try it further.
The idea for a homegrown industrial application of wool grease initially came to Jeff Boyle when he was working in the fishing game. So it's not surprising a lot of boaties are pretty stuck on the stuff. The company that runs a fleet of high-speed passenger ferries on Brisbane's Moreton Bay was one of his first customers, and quite literally, they spray it all over the boat.
You can see there where the lanoline's actually building up over time. A real slippery surface on it. Helps the boat go through the water a lot more efficient. So far we've found it's saved us about 50 litres a day on fuel, just from changing to the lanoline. You get the same life out of it as anti-foul, so it's a much greater improvement.
You're tending to have to put more coats of it on though, more treatments compared to conventional anti-fouling?
No, we've found that we use the same amount of lanoline as we did with the anti-foul. So
with none of the environmental downsides though?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's great for the bay and the marine part.
So 50 litres of fuel saving a day over 12 months, it's quite a saving, isn't it?
Quite a substantial saving, yeah, especially when you times that by 4 boats as well.
Have you got a sense, of what the rival companies to this product are sort of thinking about this sort of this upstart, this wool grease monkey?
Gee, I don't know, because if they've tried it, they're going to be severely disappointed in their own product, very much so. I'd imagine that they're probably so big, they're probably thinking this is just some little fringe product, it's not going to hurt us. In that case, they're in for a hell of a shock, I think.
We like to support Australian-owned companies, and like I said, it all comes back to performance and results, and if you've got a product that's Australian-made and it's providing results, well, that's fine by us to use. And Jeff Boyle hopes Aussie wool scourers will show the same sort of loyalty when it comes to supplying the raw material. It's just as easy for them to sell the product to me as it is to export. I'm still going to have to pay premium. But I think there's companies out there that would show their loyalty for these products to be used in Australia. Yeah. Who knows, down the track, some of the success of this venture may even rub off on better returns to wool growers.